Hey guys, I'm really looking forward to today's interview with Aaron Andrada. He's a bassist who's played internationally and he's actually heading out on a 6 month extended residency on cruise ships. So I'm glad he could take time out of his schedule today and give us some insight into his music. Thanks very much for coming out, Aaron.
It was my pleasure, Daniel.
Appreciate it. And so, yeah, you play the upright bass and the electric bass.
I just
and
play,
just the electric, right?
Just the electric. You started with both, being in high school. I think a lot of students like doing jazz band and concert band and stuff like that. I ended up getting tendonitis in my first year of studies in my bachelor degree at college, and ended up having to quit the upright bass, unfortunately. But I'm just an electric guy now.
You're right.
It works.
Yeah.
It works for me, anyways.
Yeah. And you have all the tight sounds for no matter what you're playing. Jazz, funk, and whichever styles you're playing.
Like all of them nowadays.
Exactly. Yeah.
Whatever puts bread on the table.
Perfect. So yeah, what really drives your art? I was chatting with Aaron a little bit before, and he was saying that oftentimes he's doing work during the day and playing shows in the evening, and then just rehearsing until sometimes 5 a.m. So what drives you to play until 5 a.m., Aaron? What's that fire behind your art?
Well, for me, like, you have like this constant relationship with music. Music is this thing that gives you gifts, and in return you wanna get better at it. You wanna understand it more. So really, like, for me, like, I try to devote as much time as possible to improving my relationship with my music and with music in general. I think that's the only, like, the best way I can give back to it for what it has given to me, which is a lot of great things in life, a lot of great friends, and a lot of great opportunity.
Yeah, so like getting a lot of connections out of the art, and then you just giving back and treating it with appreciation.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Like the most I can do, which still is not enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, great. Yeah. And so, like, what does your art mean to you? Like, when you create something and when you are playing the bass, what does it mean to you to like play on stage and perform in front of the audience and just share your art with them, because it means so much to you? Mm-hmm. Like, how do you feel when you're performing that music for other people?
Well, there's like kind of like two different streams when I think about this, and one is like, when I'm in the jazz world, I like to be more about what I want to express, music that I want to play. I get to be more selective with that kind of stuff when I run my own gigs. So I get to play what connects to me the most, which is really emotional music. If you ever listen to me play jazz, it's just really kind of like heartfelt, melodic stuff. But there's also times where you're playing like Elton John, and maybe that's not what's like really coming out of my heart at that moment. But I love Elton John, I love Billy Joel. We do all that on the cruise ship. But I think for that time, you're sharing this enjoyable experience with the audience, and you want to make them dance, and you want to make them have fun, and them having fun in return ends up with you having fun.
Right.
And it's like this give and take kind of relationship with the audience constantly in both streams, but through different mediums.
Yeah. So like one type of music where it's all about sort of your expression and showing your expression in that music.
But like what I want to share with what I want to share, what I'm feeling at the time, or whatever that may be, and the other one is simply just like let's have some fun.
Laying down the groove and getting everyone dancing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's awesome. So yeah, what do you hope the audience gets from your music? So I'm sure you have like two very different sorts of things. So like the first one, what do you hope the audience gets from you really sharing your emotion in the music? Do you hope maybe they take something away and do something in their life, or do you just hope it makes them smile, or what is your take on that?
Well, it could be it's something as little as somebody smiling. I think if somebody can walk away from my gig smiling, I think that's a successful night. People coming to my see me play my gigs, I think the ultimate goal for any musician is to be so like is for have somebody come and say, "Wow, that was amazing. That I want to better myself. Now I want to find a way to start contributing to this thing that is music." So kind of like getting this paying it forward kind of effect going. But it doesn't. At the end of the night, if that happens, that's great. But if it doesn't happen, and people are just like, "That was a fun time. That was a great time. We played all my favorite tunes from the '60s and '70s." Well, then that works as well. You have to be really open minded with that kind of stuff, right? You want to be able to accept all the reactions because they're all great in their own way.
Yes, for sure. Great, cool, man. And so, yeah, what do you get out of sharing your music with the audience? Like, you're giving so much to them, and you're getting them to you're performing the music that they really love too, and you're putting so much emotion into the music. Like, when you step off the stage, what do you get out of your music? And like, when you step out of the studio after cutting a track, what do you get out of that? Can you maybe expand a little bit?
Yeah. Well, when I'm playing like a live gig and I'm just I want to be able to walk away from the gig and be like, that was a fun gig. And that, of course, requires some sort of audience participation.
Yeah.
But like, the energy that you make with your band and the energy that you have with yourself, like you can just sit there on like whatever, any old Friday night, any old gig and be like, oh, I was just going to play through the movements and go take my paycheck and go home. But, you don't want gigs to be like that. You want gigs to be like, you know what, this is a really fun gig and I want to do this every single night.
For sure.
And you want that opportunity, and that's usually what I try to find in my gig. Try to find some sort of moment, whether it be with my band or whether it be with the audience or whether it be with simply myself and the relationship that I have with music.
Nice. And
just come away with like, that was worthwhile. That was worth this.
Yeah. So like surprising the audience and like giving a bold show, like giving it your all sort of thing. I like that.
Yeah. Well, especially when they expect, this guy's just going to clock it in and just play the movements, get out here. And then they're really wowed by like, hey, here's this kid that really has fun playing music. And still has like this like burning flame.
Yeah.
Try to change some opinions if that's what they think coming in, if they all think that I'm just going to be this cold-hearted bassist.
Yeah. So like connecting to you, even though you're like just a lot of the time, I think a lot of the time bass players, for you playing the electric bass, like maybe you're in the back a lot of the time, but then also sometimes for certain styles you get to shine, and in both scenarios you get to connect with the audience. And is that correct?
Oh, absolutely. Well, there's like a saying in the bass world is that if nobody hears you, if you're playing the bass right, then nobody will hear you playing it right. But if you play the bass wrong, everybody is going to notice and everyone's going to feel that. So no matter what, if you're playing like Jaco Pastorius, jazz fusion kind of stuff, or you're just playing like holding down the roots in the funk style, then either way, you got to play the bass right. And nobody will notice you, but you're still going to feel good.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe nobody will notice you. Hopefully not.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah. So like really getting that feel and that vibe towards the audience that gets them into the music and keeps them enveloped in the music and all the creativity that's happening there. That's great. Cool, man. And so, with what attitude would you recommend students approach music? I just wonder, like from your take towards like growing from earlier in life all the way to where you are now, like taking, where are you going? You're going to Asia?
Yeah. Right? So in like 2 weeks time, I'm flying out to Singapore and I'm going to be on a ship called the Celebrity Millennium. And we do all the Southeast Asian and East Asian countries. So like Singapore, Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, China, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan. We even do one stop in Russia, which is really cool. So it's going to be a lot of time on the ship and a lot of music, a lot of Elton John.
Cool. So what are you looking forward to the most out of that? Are you looking forward to maybe like learning and refining your craft while spending a lot of time on the ship? or playing all these tunes, or the traveling, or everything in between, or?
Well, the great thing about the ship life is that if you do it right, you're killing multiple birds with one stone. First of all, you're getting paid, which is kind of helpful when you're trying to make the rent, and you're playing music for a living, which is really nice. And so that automatically, like playing all these tunes, that starts contributing to your craft. But you also start building a sense of community, an international sense of community. Not only are you working with musicians from all over the world, you're working with people from all over the world. I think it counted 58 different countries represented in my crew on the last ship that I was on. Yeah, it's quite a bit of quite a sizable chunk of the world, and you get to share these experiences with people. And it may not even be about music, but there I go again with saying that music just gives me these opportunities. They may not have anything to do with music. It's maybe just talking to that girl from Romania at the bar, but it all contributes to who you are, and in return, helps determine what you're going to contribute to the world and to the world of music. Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. So with what attitude would you recommend students approach music? Would you recommend maybe they cave up and really get into that certain type of playing music, or would you recommend that your own take and what you've learned through your experience playing across the world in a lot of different festivals, restaurants, bars, and what was your take growing up and learning music? What did you really enjoy?
So my kind of if I was going to go back to past me and tell me these things, to reaffirm these kind of things, there's kind of three things that have really hammered down. One, you got to keep an open mind. There's going to be a whole bunch of things thrown at you. Teachers are going to tell you everything, and they mean well. And a lot of the time, it's going to be really beneficial. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Just one person's way of development isn't compatible with your way, and you have to find your own way. So you have to carry an open mind and be able to accept that some things will work, some things won't work. The second, it kind of carries over from the open-mindedness, is that if you really want to work in the music world, you have to be as versatile as possible. People were asking me on the ship, non-musicians are asking me, what makes me different from the people in the bar that are playing flamenco guitar, and they play beautiful Spanish flamenco guitar. Yeah. But for me, there's two things: versatility, obviously. They can do that, but they won't be able to do the Van Halen solo that's required of them in the show that night, right? So you have to be able to adapt really quickly, and you have to know all sorts of styles if you really want to get enough gigs to pay the bills. And second thing that you need from that, by the way, is just a little bit of luck. And the third thing that I'm going to tell, we had keep an open mind, be versatile, be prepared to bleed, because there's going to be times where everything is just pounding against your head and you just can't stand anymore and you just want to quit music. You want to go into whatever normal life is. You want to go into accounting or something like that, something a little bit more stable than the life of a musician. But if you really want to be committed, you have to be prepared to make sacrifices. I had to, there was a lot of sacrifices I had to make with regards to tendinitis, and you mentally suffer because you're always in this stage of a perpetual motion cycle of I suck and I need to practice, right? I think every musician knows that, and you just have to be able to accept that. And you have to be able to get over when you audition for something and you don't get the part. Eventually, it will come around if you keep working at it. But that's the thing, you have to be prepared to suffer a little for your art. And so those are the three things. Yeah.
So be relentless, basically. Just working forever
just keep
on
going.
That thing.
If something pushes you down, you get back right up and start walking. Yeah. So be prepared to bleed. Keep an open mind. Be versatile.
Nice.
And you shouldn't have a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. and be lucky. Going back to that thing, you need a little good roll of the die.
Getting in with a good band or meeting somebody.
You just by chance, like at a bar or something like that. Like you never know when it's gonna hit you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think a lot of what Aaron said rings really true with me as well. Like I've had many connections where I just meet somebody randomly or just take a gig that normally I wouldn't take, but I had the night off. And so I just went and I played with that group, and it turns out to really lead to something amazing or lead to another project that really developed my skill and my career in music. And I'm very thankful that you could take time out of your day, Aaron, to come give some insight into your art and the bass. And I'm glad you're killing it on the electric, man.
Hey,
good stuff.
It's good stuff. If anybody wants to know about cruise ship life or want to get some more opinions from me, or maybe want to argue with me a little bit, I might be down. I have a website, andradamusic.com. I'm sure Dan will send a link up there. Yes. I also have Facebook. I have an email. Feel free to send me a message. I'll, with any luck, respond to you. Unless I don't have Wi-Fi in Singapore, then I might have to wait a few days. I apologize in advance.
Good stuff, Aaron.
Yes.
Thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So thanks for checking out this week's interview. Every week we'll have bold musician interviews with forward-thinking musicians like Aaron. And have a great night.